What's going down tonight is Srisaket Rungvisai versus Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez. Let me tell you something. Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez showed skills, paid the bills. He dropped Carlos Cuadras in his championship fight for the vacant title because Srisaket Rungvisai could not make it into that tournament. And Bam Bam is now taking on Srisaket Rungvisai, the guy that was supposed to fight Carlos Cuadras. Uh, as we all know, Srisaket Visai has knockout power in both hands. He's a huge super flyweight, big, he's very strong, got good skills as well. Jesse showed the skill paid the bills. Jesse jumped up from light flyweight, which is, as you know, it is 108 pounds. And he went all the way up to 115 pounds. He made a 7-pound leap jump to the 115-pound division to win that title in 1 week's notice. So Jesse obviously has the skills and ability to win the fight tonight. He's a mid-range fighter mostly. Southpaw, comes with nice, beautiful angles. He circumvents, goes weak side on both sides, but he also does some other things. Now, of course, Rungvisai is a southpaw, so he's going to have to use different angles against Rungvisai to go to the weak side of him. But if Jesse keeps his boxing skills in order, keeps his defense pretty tight, he might be able to survive Rungvisai. I know Jesse's kind of vulnerable to uppercuts up the inside. I noticed sometimes he gets hit with shots as he's trading shots. Jesse has good power as well. But I don't think it's the knockout power so much. I'm watching for Jesse in his boxing skills, his footwork. I think that's going to be his jab is going to be the principal key to keep Rungvisai at a certain distance. He needs to kind of box him a bit, warm up to him, and then try to fight him on the inside. If he just tries to go straight to mid-range fighting and inside fighting, he's going to have some problems. But if he starts to stick and move, turn Rungvisai, because we saw Matt Ren was able to turn Rungvisai, was able to outbox Rungvisai. So all Jesse really needs to do is outbox Rungvisai and keep it more on the outside. Let Rungvisai come to him and sort of turn. Now, Rungvisai, he turns it up as the fight goes along. He turns it up more and more and more. He turns up the heat. But against Amat Ronren, who outboxed him, I thought, even though he didn't get the decision, I thought that Amat Ronren outboxed him. And Amat Ronren came up from a lower weight class. So I think that, and Amat Ronren was old as hell, as crazy. He's very old. So I think that Jesse can outbox him. I think that he can pick his shots and start to go to the inside once he finds his entry points or finds what works for him. But he cannot afford to trade shots with Rungvisai. Rungvisai is a huge super flyweight. He's very powerful, very big. Jesse has to be a lot more careful how he applies himself. But again, Jesse is shown to be, Bam Bam is shown to be an exceptional fighter. One of the fighters that, can jump up 2 weight classes, win a world title on a week's notice. That's the kind of skills Jesse has. So I expect actually even more from Jesse in his hometown in Texas. Something beautiful on display. Jesse thinks he's got skills on another level. We want to see those skills displayed tonight. So I'm looking forward to this fight. What is my prediction? Well, this is a big jump up in competition. This is a big jump up in everything, really. Bam Bam is not a natural super flyweight. He just appeared on the scene and became world champion there. But skills played the bills. He dropped Carlos Cuadras. He hurt Carlos Cuadras coming down the stretch. Jesse's cardio is very good. He don't tire. He got good defense. He still gets cut. You see he got a bloody nose in that fight. Of course, he's a much smaller guy. Rungvisai is not a guy you play around with. You don't ever stand in front of Rungvisai. So Jesse's going to have to be cutting those angles. Always to the side of him, always to the side of Rungvisai, because Rungvisai, you don't want to get hit too much with Rungvisai. I don't care if he's blocking punches. You don't want to get hit too much with him. You want to make him miss and make him pay as much as possible. So hopefully Jesse boxes him well. He doesn't have to make all that extra footwork and stuff. Just step around him, turn him, step around him. That's all that Amat Ronren did. And you can outbox this dude. So Saran Visai, if you engage him, he gonna mess you up. But if you box him, if you, make it difficult and set traps for him and punish him, I think Jesse will be able to win that fight. Okay, so what's my prediction? Well, let me be honest with you guys. I'm going with Jesse. I'm gonna tell you why. You had 1 week's notice to fight for a world championship. Two weight classes up. Skills pay the bills, ladies and gentlemen. I predict that Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez is going to beat Saran Visai and retain the title that he has, showing that he's the legitimate champion of that division, the WBC champion of that division. And it will set him up for fights with Chocolatito and also Estrada. So we're looking for Bam Bam Rios to take a unanimous decision victory over Saran Visai. And I know a lot of people saying Saran Visai is going to spoil the party because Saran Visai is so big and strong. But I tell you guys, back for boxing. If Jesse does a little bit of back foot boxing, a little bit of lateral boxing, a little bit of boxing coming forward like Lomachenko cutting those angles, I think he's going to have plenty of shots to land. He's going to land a lot on Saran Visai. Of course, the conditioning of Saran Visai is incredible, but I expect Bam Bam to have unbelievable conditioning for this fight, to be unbelievably up for this fight. And if Bam Bam could have done that on a week's notice and beat Carlos Quadra with a lot more time on his hands, I think you're going to see an exceptional performance in front of the Texas Stadium. He's going to be the smaller guy for sure. He's going to have to pick his shots, but he got punching power. He got respectable punching power to put guys down, especially with shots they don't see. And I can see Bam Bam putting down Saran Visai and then continue to just do his artistic work around him, step around him, step around him, turn him, step around him, step around, run him into shots, step around him. So hopefully we can get a unanimous decision victory for Bam Bam over Saran Visai. We will see that happen. Saran Visai is a massive, but I always remember Notito Dorea versus Guillermo Rigondeaux and so on. If you're just good at what you do, if you got skills, pay the bills. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he's in well condition as well. So if he beats Saran Visai, man, we're looking at a superstar in the making. And I'm gonna go with Jesse Rodriguez. You don't just on 1 week's notice step up to the plate and beat up a seasoned super flyweight. You just don't do that. Carlos Quadras, what, career super flyweight? Come on now. And he's a pretty big one. Now Saran Visai is much bigger. It's much stronger. But bigger and stronger don't mean shit. I don't mean to disrespect anybody, but it doesn't mean anything if you got the skills to pay the bills. And we might about to see somebody do something legendary if he can defend his title, Jesse Bam Bam Rios. So I'm going for Jesse Bam Bam Rios on this one. I know a lot of people are saying Saran Visai because he got experience, the veteran experience. He's got the size, the strength. It's working in his favor. Yeah, and Jesse does fight more in the pocket. But I believe Jesse's going to pull this one off. I think he's going to pull this one off. I'm looking forward to him pulling it off. I'm going to root for Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez for the unanimous decision victory and maybe even drop Saran Visai down the stretch. Let's see if that happens. Because Saran Visai, he can bang, but he's not really that great a boxer at a certain range. If you keep him at distance, if you keep him at length a little bit, you fight him on the outside and come in on the inside, I think you have a better chance of beating this dude. This dude can be our box. And if you're patient enough, you can run him into something just like how Jesse ran Quadras into something, to a left uppercut or right uppercut. I can't remember which one, and put him down. So I think Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez. I think he's going to take this one. Victory, Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez. Okay, Jesse McCaskill versus Alma Ibarra. Alma Ibarra been around for a while. She's fought some world champions. She's had her day. I think she has one loss on her record or something like that. Tough contender. Should be an action-packed fight. Jessica McCaskill, I'll give you an action-packed fight. Always fight on the inside. I don't know if McCaskill can stop her, but I expect McCaskill to win this fight. Based on the other person is Murodjon Akhmadaliev or MJ, and he's going to be facing Ronnie Rios. Ronnie Rios, again, a veteran. He's kind of won some minor world titles. He's got, I think, 1 or 2 losses. I think something like that. 3 losses, I think it is. So for Ronnie Rios, he's a top contender. He's stepping up again to the plate to try and get the world championship from Akhmadaliev. I expect Amidalayev to overcome him. So really, the most challenging fight on this card, even though we have some championship fights on there, I think the most challenging fight is going to be Jesse Bam Bam Rodriguez versus Srisaket Rungvisai. And let me tell you why I think it's going to be the most challenging, because he's moved up in weight, two weight classes up in weight. So this is something very interesting. And he's taking on the guy that should have taken on Quadras. But the guy is a big, I mean, we're talking about huge super lightweight. But hopefully Jesse has been, acclimatized to that. He's done the sparring work with bigger guys so he can deal with the power. And hopefully, Jesse can pull this one off. But this is a tough one for me to really call. I'm going with Jesse because of just what he did, how he even captured that title, showed that he had the skills to do so. He does get touched, but he does use his defense. His defense is pretty tight. You can't just get two shots on him like that. So hopefully he wins this fight. Bigger body, bigger target. Hopefully he goes to the body, and hopefully down the stretch he can have his trademark punches, which will put down Rungvisai and seal the fight for him. Rungvisai obviously will relentlessly go at it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's my predictions. The three predictions are: I got all the favorites winning. Akhmadaliev, I got Rodriguez winning, and I got McCaskill winning. That's my call. I'm going to catch you guys later on What You Need.